गिरिधारी शिशि राधा विनोर बिहारी जू की जाय। श्री गोविंद गोपीनाथ मदन मोहन जू की जाय। जय राधा नयननाथ जू की जाय। नित्याल्लभ विष्णु विष्णुपार शतर शत शिशिमार भक्ति वेदांत नारायण गोसाई महाराज श्रील गुरुदेव की जय। नित्याल्लभ विष्णु विष्णुपार शतर शत शिशिमार भक्ति वेदांत वामन गोसाई महाराज की जय। नित्याल्लभ विष्णु विष्णुपार अश्रुतर शत शिशिमार भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी महाराज श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। नित्याल्लभ विष्णु विष्णुपार अश्रुतर शत शिशिमार भक्ति साई भक्ति प्रज्ञान केशव गोसाई महाराज की जय। नित्याल्लभ विष्णु विष्णुपार अश्रुतर शत शिशिमार भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोसाई प्रभुपाद की जय। नित्याल्लभ विष्णु महाभगवत श्लोकोक्षरस बाबूजी महाराज की जय। नित्याल्लभ विष्णु वैष्णव सार्वभौम श्री जगन्नाथ दास बाबूजी महाराज की जय। श्री रूपानु कोरिया गुरु वर्ग की जय। श्री रूप सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथ श्री जीव गोपाल भट्ट दास रघुनाथ शारद गोसाई प्रभु की जय। श्री स्वरूप दामोदर राय रामानंदारी श्री गौर पार्षद वृंद की जय। नाम जय श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासरी गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री क्षेत्र मंडल गौरमंडल ब्रजमंडल मथुरा वृंदावन धाम की जय। सर्व अभिष्ट विदत गिरिराज महाराज की जय। श्री राधा कुंड श्याम कुंड की जय। श्री यमुना देवी गंगा देवी की जय। श्री तुलसी महारानी वृंद देवी की जय। श्री भक्ति देवी की जय। श्री पूर्णमासी योग माया की जय। श्री गोपेश्वर महादेव की जय। जय श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। नित्याल्लभ विष्णु विष्णुपार अश्रुतर शत शिशिमार भक्ति विज्ञान भारती गोसाई महाराज की जय। नित्याल्लभ विष्णु विष्णुपार अश्रुतर शत शिशिमार भक्ति बल्लभ तीर्थ गोसाई महाराज की जय। नित्याल्लभ विष्णु विष्णुपार अश्रुतर शत शिशिमार श्री भक्ति दायित माधव गोसाई महाराज की जय। नित्याल्लभ विष्णु विष्णुपार अश्रुतर शत शिशिमार भक्ति प्रमोद पुरी गोसाई महाराज की जय। नित्याल्लभ विष्णु विष्णुपार अश्रुतर शत शिशिमार भक्ति रक्षक श्रीधर गोसाई महाराज की जय। All the associates of Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. And all the disciples, grand disciples, great grand disciples of those associates, all the followers of those associates ki jai. Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo. Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Guruve Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha. Shri Siddhanta Saraswati Vidito Koriya Gurvanvaye Bhato Bhanuriva Prabhata Gagane Yogora Sankirtanai Maya Bharati Mingilo Daragatan Udhritya Jiva Niman Krishna Prema Sudabdi Gahana Sukhang Pradat Prabhung Tang Bhaje Vande Bhakti Vinodang Shri Gaura Shakti Swarupakam Bhakti Shastragya Samrajam Radharasa Sudha Nidhim Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Sachidananda Namine Gaura Shakti Swarupaya Rupanugavarayate Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Vrishabhanusutanvitavamatanu yamunat tatanagaranandasutam Murali kalagita vinoraparam bhajagodrumakanana kunjavidum. Smaragoragadadara kelikalang bhavagoragadadara pakshachara Shrinugoragadadara charukathang bhajagodrumakanana kunjavidum. Tavai vasmi, na jivami tvaya vina, iti vigyaya devi tvang, nayamang charanantikam. Bhaktya vihina aparada lakshai, kshiptastakama ditaranga madhe, kripa mai tvam sharanam prapanna, Vrinde namaste charanaravindam. Bhaja Shri Krishna Caitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Okay, let's recite the Praṇāma mantra for Śrīla Bhakti Vijñāna Bhāratī Gosvāmī. Śrī Kṛṣṇa Caitanya kṛpaika vittaḥ yah maryādā rakṣati vaiṣṇavānāṁ kṛpāvalaṁ Mādhava preṣṭha kāmī Śrī bhaktidaṁ bhāratim āśrayāmaḥ. I accept shelter at the lotus feet of the most revered Śrīmad Bhakti Vijñāna Bhāratī Gosvāmī Mahārāja, who treasures the mercy of Śrī Kṛṣṇa Caitanya Mahāprabhu as his exclusive wealth, who is a personification of following Vaishnava etiquette in its purest form, who considers the boundless mercy of Śrīmad Bhakti Dayita Mādhava Gosvāmī Mahārāja as his life and soul, and always aspires to eternally remain his dearmost servitor. That is, one who knows and fulfills the most cherished desires, the manobhishta of his beloved master. And who bestows Śrī Bhakti, the topmost service to Śrīmati Rādhika as her maidservant, to one and all without discrimination. And now the Praṇāma mantra for Śrīla Bhakti Dayita Madhava Gosvāmī Mahārāja. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Rupanuga Priyaya Cha Śrīmate Bhakti Dayita Mādhava Namine Krishna Bhinna Prakasha Shri Murtaye Dinatarine Kshama Gunavataraya Gurave Prabhave Namaha Satirtha Priti Sadharma Guru Priti Pradarshine Ishodhyana Prabhavasya Prakashakayate Namaha Shri Kshetre Prabhupadasya Sthanodhara Sukirtaye Saraswata Ganananda Samvardhanayate Namaha Shri Bhakti Daitang Nama Charya Varyang Jagargurum Vande Shri Madhavam Deva Gosvāmī Pravaram Prabhum. Jai Śrīla Bhakti Vijñāna Bhāratī Gosvāmī Mahārāja ki jai. Jai Śrīla Bhakti Dayita Madhava Gosvāmī Mahārāja ki jai. Okay. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranams, dear devotees, Nri Hari Prabhu, Bhavatarani Mataji, Sarveshwari Mataji, Champak Mataji, Anadi Krishna Prabhu, and let's see on YouTube and Facebook. I forgot to open up Restream, so I might be missing some comments. Oh. Anyways, I see on YouTube, I see Krishnamai Didi, Dandavat Pranam, and Let's see. Anyhow, if I'm missing you, if you write another comment, I'll see your name. Dandavat pranams. Also, pranams to all the devotees watching in the future, like Shachi Devi, Revati Didi, Jai Dev Prabhu. All right, so we are continuing with our reading of this beautiful series written by Madhav Priya Prabhu called Remembrance and Separation. And we are going to skip the parts that have to do with Śrīla Bhakti Vijñāna Bhāratī Goswami Maharaj entering Nitya Lila and his final pastimes, because we'll read that on his disappearance day, which I think is a couple months away from now. I actually haven't looked at the calendar. But yeah. So let's begin. Let me just. One second. Let me just put this on the side, so if anybody writes a comment, I'll see it. One second. Okay. Let's look at all the topics that we read. It's good to always recap. Okay, so on the first day, we read about Śrīla Bhakti Vijñāna Bhāratī Goswami Maharaj's his childhood and receiving Brahminical samskars, and his Upanaya samskar at age 8 when he got his Brahmin thread ceremony. And then the acceptance of Harinam and Diksha from Śrīla Bhakti Mādhava Goswami Maharaj, severing the hard knots in my heart, service in unfavorable circumstances. So that's what we read on our first day of reading the series. And then yesterday we read the colossal vow of Tridandi Sannyas, virtue above inconvenience, serving as secretary without hesitation or fear, the gravity of the post of Acharya, the translation of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita and Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat, reputation for deep understanding of Siddhanta, manifesting Acharya Lila. That's what we read yesterday. And then today, I don't know how much we'll have time to read, but this is what I opened up. I never left the mat. The fruit of my previous karma. The mantras received from Shiksha Gurus. The mantra received from Śrīmad Bhakti Kumud Santa Gosai Maharaj. And then we're going to skip this part, the premonition of sickness pastimes, bidding farewell to Jagannath Dev, last Harikatha, final sickness pastimes, preparing for his disappearance pastimes, entrance into the Madhyan Lila of Shri Radha and Krishna, Samadhi ceremony, separation from Gurudev. So we'll read all those sections on his disappearance day. And then if we still have time, we'll continue. We'll read his Vyas Puja address in 2017. A few self-written ideals. The mantra received from Śrīmad Bhakti Vijñāna Keshav Goswami Maharaj, the mantras received from Śrīmad Bhakti Rakṣati Goswami Maharaj, the mantra received from Śrīla Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Maharaj, intimacy with Śrīla Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj, and the last thing on this series is the mantra received from Śrīmad Bhakti Vichar Jajavar Goswami Maharaj. That's the full series. So let's see how much we can get through in today's reading. Okay, so the first one, I never left the mat. Okay. So I'm just going to read the last paragraph. that we read yesterday, just to get the flow. So, in this ripe old age, I am not in any kind of frenzy or desperation to accumulate disciples, like a woman suffering the pains of labor is desperate to deliver her child as soon as possible. Although I feel that I am completely unqualified to carry out this duty, and realizing by doing so, I may have to tread the path to hell, for the sole purpose of Guru Mahāraja's service, for the dignity of the Math institution established by him, to protect the esteem of the Sampradaya, and to serve all the devotees who have beseeched me time and again to initiate. I have taken upon myself this arduous yet essential task of awarding Harinam and Diksha, and I will continue to do so in the days to come as well. So then, I never left the Math. On the Tithi of Akadashi, on 19 March 2016, before physically, externally leaving Sri Chaitanya Gaudiya Math, Śrīla Mahārāja expressed the following. He said, "We have always heard from Guru Maharaj that mere clay or the land alone does not constitute the Math. The principle alone is our Math. When I came to the Math, despite the relatively greater opulence of various other Gaudiya Maths, I surrendered at the lotus feet of Guru Maharaj, being attracted to his ideal character. At that time, from the material perspective, Guru Maharaj possessed nothing. I have even spent considerable time residing under a tin shed in Mayapur. Now, I wish to leave this world by following the very ideals that he exhibited, not compromising them in any way whatsoever." Oftentimes, Śrīla Mahārāja would say, "I can never leave Sri Chaitanya Gaudiya Math, because for me, Sri Chaitanya Gaudiya Math stands for the ideal personified by my Guru Maharaj, as well as my god brother, Śrīmad Bhakti, so Śrīla Bhakti Vijñāna Bhāratī would often say, I can never leave Sri Chaitanya Gaudiya Math, because for me, Sri Chaitanya Gaudiya Math stands for the ideal personified by my Guru Maharaj, as well as my god brother, Śrīmad Bhakti Vallabha Tirtha Goswāmī Maharaj, and many other god brothers and devotees. Therefore, I, being a product of their teachings, ideals, affection, nurturing, chastisement, and so on, can never separate myself. I can never separate myself from them, even if I wish to, just as any living entity cannot separate himself from Krishna, even though he may want to. And just as any student cannot separate himself from the teachings received from his preceptors." I'm not going to read that one. Let's read this one. This is, I remember when Tirtha Maharaj wrote this. This is on 24th March 2016. I actually posted the original handwritten letter on my Facebook page. You can find it there. So, Śrīmad Bhaktivedanta Tirtha Maharaj from Shri Shri Keshavji Gaudiya Math, established in Navadvip Dham by Shri Śrīmad Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj, sent the below mentioned letter through Shripad Ramachandra Prabhu. So, Shri Shri Guru Gaurangau Jayata. Respectful and humble invitation. Most worshipable Shri Śrīmad Bhakti Vijñāna Bhāratī Goswami Maharaj Ji, I offer my countless obeisances at your lotus feet. On behalf of all the devotees of our organization and myself, I humbly request you to reside at any of our maths or preaching centers. Kindly bestow your mercy upon us by accepting our request. Let us receive the good fortune of serving you and your associates to the best of our ability. We all have deep faith and special feelings towards you. While residing at our math, anyone may accept Harinam and Diksha from you. We have no objection whatsoever with this, because it was the special desire of our Guru Pad Padma, Shri Śrīmad Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj, that everyone should cooperate together to comprehensively spread Gaudiya Vaishnavism. Therefore, please accept my humble request. The servants of your lotus feet, Bhaktivedanta Tirtha Maharaj, and all the members. Isn't that so beautiful? I, I mean, it obviously he should have. I'm just, anyways. I really, please give us the opportunity to serve you in any of our mats and initiate whoever you want in any of our mats, and give us this opportunity to serve you to the best of our ability. Yeah, it's yeah. I was so happy when Tirtha Maharaj wrote that. Now this is Śrīla Bhakti Vijñāna Bhāratī Gosvāmī Maharaj's response to him. I do not act emotionally or passionately. At this juncture of my life, I do not desire to lend myself to any other institution, because in my 62 years of residence in the Mat, I have seen many things with my eyes. I am an old fool. I do not act out of emotion or passion without deliberation and contemplation, nor do I simply rely on someone's suggestion. If today those who have observed me, known me, and understood me for such a long time consider that I am at fault, then I do not have the faith that those who have been acquainted with me for a very short time would not be inconvenienced by me or by my conduct, conceptions, or principles. I have seen many things at many places in relation to disciples and donations. Hence, I do not mind visiting any place and residing there from time to time. However, to do so permanently would be inappropriate. I cannot remain silent upon observing any principle being compromised in my presence. So now Mādhava Prabhu is writing again. After speaking thus, Śrīla Maharaj became silent. At that time, one of the servants said to Śrīla Maharaj, your ideal, as well as your true grit, is unparalleled. It is astonishing that you are even thinking and speaking like this, facing the situation without even a speck of anxiety, despite your age. However, we are conditioned souls, not yet completely dependent on Bhagavan. So we are worried that, God forbid, if like some of our Guru Varga, you exhibit sickness pastime for a long time or even for a short time, then what will we do? Where will we stay along with you? We do not wish to become part of any established institution. Also, it is exceedingly challenging to constantly move from one place to the other in this physical condition. In this situation, what is our duty? Then Śrīla Maharaj replied, I haven't trained myself to keep my head covered with a big leaf like Lomasa Rishi. Hence, some place or the other must be arranged. Although I may not be in a position to arrange for the accommodations of the visiting devotees, nevertheless, there should be space suitable enough to sit and perform Harikatha and Hari Kirtan. There is no need for luxury. Even a tin shed will do. However, I have no reservations, even if it turns out to be luxurious. I will take that to be the desire of my Prabhu. I will not, however, be able to remain quiet upon observing any compromise in principles in my presence. Wow. Okay, so now we're skipping that whole section, the separation section and the final pastime section, and now, oh no, I think this is the next part, the fruit of my, yeah, never mind. I can't remember, anyhow. Okay. The fruit of my previous karma. When their letters were read out to Śrīla Maharaj, he said, Śrī Bhaktilok Paramadvaiti Maharaj and Śrī Bhaktivedanta Tirtha Maharaj are presenting their heartfelt thoughts as per their respective opinions. However, I believe that whatever has transpired is only an outcome of my previous karmas. No one is responsible or to be blamed for this. While lying on the bed of arrows, Sri Bhishma Pitamaha had explained to Sri Yudhishthira Maharaj in the presence of Śrī Kṛṣṇa through the pastime of Sri Gautama Rishi's son being bitten by a snake. It's published in Bhagavad Patrika, year 14. So it says, Yudhishthira, just as the snake bit the son of Sri Gautama Rishi as a mere instrument of the fruit of his past karma, similarly, my past karma alone is behind my current suffering. You are a mere instrument. Therefore, there is no need for you to become despondent. Sri Bhishma Pitamaha is the last among the 12 Mahājans. My Guru Varga has always instructed me to only follow the footsteps of great personalities, Mahājano yena gata sapanta. Whenever they experienced any opposition, condemnation, false accusation, and so on, they simply saw it as the fruit of their own karma, rather than blaming anyone as a culprit. In other words, while uttering and remembering the following verse, Tatenu kampam susamikshamano bhujana evatma kritam vipakam redvag vapurpir vitadhanamaste jivetayo mukti pade sadai bhak. So while remembering and uttering that verse, there's an incomplete sentence. And yes, so the translation is, one who seeks your compassion and thus tolerates all kinds of adverse conditions due to the karma of his own past deeds, who engages always in your devotional service with his mind, words, and body, and who always offers obeisances unto you, is certainly a bona fide candidate for becoming your unalloyed devotee. So the 12 Mahājans exhibited the ideal of focusing their minds, their chitta, on the end goal, on the subject at hand. Similarly, being the follower of their lotus feet, I consider the dealings that were meted out to me solely as the fruit of my previous karma. There is no other person to be held as the culprit or responsible for this. I see no ally or adversary. I do not consider any small-minded individual who gives topmost precedence to mundane subjects and concocts diverse meanings out of the words, ideals, value system, and instructions of Guru and Vaishnavas from time to time for the sake of mundane benefits. I don't consider any of them to be an ally or adversary. If I consider anyone my adversary, my consciousness, my chitta, will be pulled towards that individual, and amassing his faults, it will eventually deviate from the lotus feet of Bhagavan. And if I consider anyone favorable to me, then my consciousness will be attracted by them, thereby imbibing their thoughts, which are influenced by the three modes of nature, thus impeding my ability to become established in a role beyond the material modes. Therefore, in this lifetime, I do not desire anything like this. I do not desire to see any personality from this world as my friend or enemy. I will only follow the perfected conceptions demonstrated by the transcendental divine Mahājans. No one has the right to stop me from doing this. No one is hurting or inconveniencing me by opposing me, nor is anyone being supportive or benevolent by exhibiting sympathy. By the mercy of Bhagavan, I have the ability to rise above all such circumstances and lead my life by accepting only those thoughts or conceptions which are favorable to perform Hari Bhajan. I desire to perform Hari Kirtan till my last breath. By the desire of Guru Maharaj, I will perform offenseless Hari Kirtan as far as it is possible. This is a perfect thing to read in any difficult circumstance. Right? Wow. This is so, yeah, such a gem. Okay, now the next section. Okay, now we're skipping the disappearance pastime part, and we'll read that in a couple months. And now the mantras received from Shiksha Gurus. Why is it not coming up? Oh, there it is. Okay. Okay, during his stay at the Math, Srila Maharaj not only had the topmost opportunity of getting personal association and rendering service to his Gurudev, but alongside that, he also received the greatest fortune of rendering intimate service to many of the stalwart disciples of Srila Prabhupada. As a result of such service, he received their spontaneous affection and profuse blessings to realize the deep truths of Gaudiya Vaishnava Siddhanta. In this process, he gradually also received priceless shiksha mantras, which naturally fortified the diksha mantras. He received these shiksha mantras from his Gurudev's godbrothers. In other words, from his shiksha gurus. So, Śrīmad Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Goswāmī Mahārāja, Śrīmad Bhakti Vijñāna Bhāratī Gosvāmī Mahārāja, Śrīmad Bhakti Saranga Goswāmī Mahārāja, Śrīmad Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswāmī Mahārāja, Śrīmad Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswāmī Mahārāja, and Śrīmad Bhakti Kumar Santa Goswāmī Mahārāja. Receiving those shiksha mantras with great prudence, assiduity, I don't know what that word means, assiduity, I don't know how you say it. Constant or close attention to what one is doing. Okay, constant attention to someone. Okay. And gravity. Srila Maharaj followed them impeccably throughout his life, thereby proving his caliber of being a remarkably qualified disciple. His diksha, as well as shiksha gurus, would be overcome with delight and deep spiritual sentiments time and again, seeing him always engaged with ardent commitment in services, such as the acquisition of land for the mats, construction of mats, preaching, serving the cows, monthly fundraising, organizing Shri Rajmandal, Shri Goramandal, Shri Kshetramandal Dham Parikramas, as well as pilgrimages to South India, North India, and so on, organizing and managing various festivals, rendering personal service to the Vaishnavas. In other words, taking advantage of whichever service opportunity presented itself. As a result, Srila Maharaja's Guru Pad Padma, Śrīmad Bhakti Dayita Mādhava Goswāmī Maharaj, awarded him with the title Upadeshak, which means mentor or instructor, and later with the title Seva Vigraha, the embodiment of service, through the medium of the Sri Chaitanya Vani Pracharini Sabha. Śrīmad Bhakti Vichar Jajavar Goswāmī Maharaj conferred upon him the title Nirmatsar Vaishnava, a non-envious devotee. While Sri Madan Mohan Seth, another disciple of Srila Prabhupada, ornamented him with the title Mukta Purush, liberated personality. And isn't Madan Mohan Seth the grandfather of Bhakti Bodhayan Maharaj? I think so. So he's the title Mukta Purush, liberated personality. So the Shri Gaur Ashirvad Patra. So it says Shri Chaitanya Vani Pracharini Sabhaya Pradattam Shri Gaur Ashirvad Patram And then it has these Sanskrit verses with the title given, and then the signature of the Sabapati. In 1966, he got this, 1966. March 1966, so after Gaur Purnima time. Okay, so it says, this is a translation of the Sanskrit verses that was written for it. Isn't that so cool though? They'd write special 4 Sanskrit verses about Śrīla Bhakti Vijñāna Bhāratī Gosvāmī Mahārāja. 1966, Śrīla Bhakti Madhava Gosvāmī Mahārāja published this. Right? Because Śrīla Bhakti Madhava Gosvāmī Mahārāja, I just heard, yeah. Okay, so Shishi Gaur Ashirvad Patra. 1. Pure and expert in all undertakings, Shri Narottam Brahmachari is knowledgeable in the subject of medicine, devoid of laziness and forbearing. 2. He is always endeavoring to fulfill any service-related responsibility. And besides being expert in many other services, he is also skilled at various services related to the construction of Sri Mandir. 3. Shri Narottam Brahmachari, who is possessed with such exalted qualities, was previously awarded the title Upadeshak, mentor, by the committee of saints. And now he is being ornamented with the title Seva Vigraha, the embodiment of service. He is being awarded this title in Sri Gaurdham on the auspicious appearance tithi of Sri Gaur, Falgun Purnima, March 7, 1966. Wow. So that's what these Sanskrit verses are saying here. Besides the aforementioned Mahabhagavat disciples of Srila Prabhupada, Srila Mahārāja also received various extraordinary mantras from other exalted disciples of Srila Prabhupada, such as Śrīmad Bhakti Sarvasva Giri Maharaj, Śrīmad Bhakti Prakash Aranya Goswami Maharaj, Śrīmad Bhakti Hriday Ban Goswami Maharaj, Śrīmad Bhakti Gaurav Vaikanas Maharaj, Śrīmad Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj, Śrīla Krishnadas Babaji Maharaj, Śrīla Bhakti Kamal Madhusudan Goswami Maharaj, Śrīmad Bhakti Saurabh Bhakti Sara Goswami Maharaj, Śrīmad Bhakti Shri Rup Siddhanti Goswami Maharaj, Śrīmad Bhakti Lok Paramahansa Goswami Maharaj, Śrīmad Bhakti Mayuk Bhagavat Goswami Maharaj, Śrīmad Bhakti Jivan Janardhan Goswami Maharaj, Śrīla Krishna Keshav Brahmachari, Śrī Jagmohan Brahmachari, Śrī Udharan Brahmachari, and so on. For fear of this essay becoming exceedingly voluminous, at this juncture, we are refraining from expounding the subject in detail, despite our desire to do so. By the virtue of his supremely pure personal precept, Srila Mahārāja is awarding the teaching that those who desire to progress in their spiritual lives must consider service unto and glorification of the illustrious Vaishnavas as their principal wealth, even above rendering service unto Bhagavan Śrī Kṛṣṇa and chanting his glories. They should regard service rendered unto the Vaishnavas as none different from service rendered unto Sri Guru. So now, mantras received from Śrīmad Bhakti Kumud Santa Goswami Maharaj. Receiving mantras replete with priceless teachings. Srila Mahārāja used to say, although I received my Diksha mantras from my Guru Parama, I received various mantras from the many disciples of Srila Prabhupada. In other words, I received mantras in the form of the many teachings from them. Among those, we are presenting a few mantras here from the very words of Śrīla Mahārāja. The mantra received from Śrīmad Bhakti Kumud Santa Goswami Maharaj. Once, the devotees of Śrī Mādhava Gaudiya Math in Dhaka wrote to Śrīla Prabhupada, requesting him to send a kirtaniya who could sing sweetly for the math. Śrī Radharaman Brahmachari, that was Śrīmad Bhakti Kumud Santa Goswami Maharaj's name prior to sannyas, was a kirtaniya of unprecedented talent. Śrīla Prabhupada asked him if he could manage the travel alone. Śrī Radharaman Brahmachari confidently affirms that he could, and accepting the order of his Gurudev, he departed for Dhaka, which required him to travel first by steamship, followed by a road journey. Arriving first on board, he took a window seat. However, as more passengers began to board the ship, one by one, they pressured him to relinquish his seat, saying, "Why are you sitting here? You are just a child. The elderly need more fresh air. Get up and go sit elsewhere." Another person commented, "Nowadays, after giving birth to sons, parents leave them in the mat instead of accepting the responsibility of their upbringing. Such children become sadhus as a result of their laziness and aversion to performing any labor." After hearing these comments, Śrī Radharaman Brahmachari quietly got up from his seat and stood near the entrance door of the ship, so that no one would be inconvenienced. Seeing this, the other passengers became satisfied and peaceful. Approximately 10 minutes later, an announcement was broadcast over the loudspeaker. "Everyone, please be attentive. The ocean is very rough today, and we have lost control over the ship. We are in an extremely precarious situation. Anything can happen. So everyone, please remember God and pray to him for our safety." Hearing this, an old man who was previously complaining about Śrī Radharaman Brahmachari began to cry, lamenting, "My daughter's marriage has been fixed, and I'm carrying paraphernalia and ornaments for her wedding. If the ship gets damaged, what will happen to my daughter's marriage? Everything will be ruined." Another passenger responded, "Didn't you hear the announcements? They're saying to remember God, so talking about such matters is not appropriate right now." The old man replied, "Because we have never done bhajan for his pleasure, God will not heed our prayers. But he'll most certainly hear the prayers of this young sadhu. Although he is very young, he has understood the true value of life." After some moments, all the passengers who had previously criticized Śrī Radharaman Brahmachari now forcibly sat him down amongst them and pleaded to him to pray to Bhagavan for their safety. He replied, "I have heard from my Guru Maharaj that the Lord only hears the prayers of his surrendered devotees. As I am not yet fully surrendered to him, he will not even hear my prayers, what to speak of accepting and fulfilling them. However, my Guru Maharaj has also mentioned that we should always perform Nam Sankirtan. Therefore, I can chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and all of you repeat it after me. But I cannot guarantee that God will hear or save us." All the passengers unanimously accepted his proposal and began to perform kirtan. After some time, the ship safely arrived at its destination. Mentioning this incident many times over, Srila Santa Goswami Maharaj would award the teaching that there is no real substance in the criticism or praise of ordinary people. Therefore, without becoming affected in any way by their statements, we should exclusively engage in the service of Hari, Guru, and Vaishnavas. The praise and criticism of such people is solely for their own sense enjoyment. In this way, I received this mantra from Śrīla Bhakti Kumud Santa Goswami Maharaj. Do not become puffed up like a balloon by the words of praise from ordinary people. And alternatively, do not let their criticism deflate your enthusiasm, because the criticisms or praises of ordinary people are compelled by the discontentment or gratification of their selfish motives, respectively. It's a nice image to imagine. Anytime you hear somebody glorifying you, you can just imagine a balloon filling up, getting puffed up. And if somebody criticizes you or says something, you can just imagine a balloon just becoming deflated. But no, that's not. Don't do that. It's all just so silly, you know? Like, okay. So therefore, it is not that Śrīla Bhakti Vijñāna Bhāratī Goswami Maharaj's character was shaped solely based on the instructions and teachings awarded by his Guru Maharaj. Rather, Śrīla Maharaj used to say, just as in a family, all the members contribute towards shaping the character of a child by the respective teachings. So just as in a family, all the members contribute towards the shaping of the character of a child by their respective teachings. In the same manner, by the mercy of my Guru Maharaj, all the disciples of Srila Prabhupada have refined my character by the virtue of their teachings. And so Śrīla Bhakti Vijñāna Bhāratī Goswami was shaped by their teachings, and now he's giving us a chance to also be shaped by their teachings, just as he was. So he's so mercifully giving these very clear mantras. So from Śrīla Bhakti Kumud Santa Goswami Maharaj, what do we get from that? Don't become puffed up like a balloon by words of praise from ordinary people, and do not let their criticism deflate your enthusiasm, because the criticisms or praises of ordinary people are compelled by the discontentment or gratification of their selfish motives, respectively. So we shouldn't take it too serious. We shouldn't take it seriously at all. It's based on them. It's not actually based on anything to do with us. Okay. I'm actually going to skip the Vyas Puja address because it's long, and I'd like to just continue going through this mantra series. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to just continue with this mantra series. So now the mantra is received from Śrīla Bhakti Vijñāna Keshav Goswami Maharaj. Hey, sorry, 1 second. So annoying when that happens. Okay, again. There. All right. So receiving mantras replete with priceless teachings. Srila Maharaj used to say, although I received my Diksha mantras from my Guru Parma, I received various mantras from the many disciples of Srila Prabhupada. In other words, I received mantras in the forms of many teachings from them. Among those, we are presenting a few mantras here from the very words of Srila Maharaj. So the mantra received from Śrīmad Bhakti Vijñāna Keshav Goswami Maharaj. For a certain period, on the order of my Guru Maharaj, I would daily visit Sri Devananda Gaudiya Math in Navadvip to take dictation from Srila Keshav Goswami Maharaj, and later have it edited by Srila Sridhar Goswami Maharaj. Huh, that's very interesting. Srila Bhaktidaṁ Madhava Goswami Maharaj had Srila Bharatim Maharaj take dictation from our Param Gurudev and then have it edited by Srila Sridhar Goswami Maharaj. So they're all working together like that. At one point, Srila Keshav Goswami Maharaj filed a court case against Srila Bhakti Keval Odolomi Goswami Maharaj, the then Acharya of Bagbazar Gaudiya Math, actually his brother as well. Well, his biological brother, not his brother in the other sense. So he accused him and his supporters of not being real followers of Srila Prabhupada Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So our Param Gurudev accused Bhakti Keval Odolomi Maharaj. He said that as they had rejected, 1, the loud chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, 2, the saffron dress of the sannyas order, and 3, the performance of Sri Navadvip Dham Parikrama. He therefore asserted that they were not worthy of being called disciples of Srila Prabhupada, and hence they had no right to reside in the mats established by him. The day before, and there's a whole backstory to this. Anyways, I'm not gonna. We don't have so much time to read, so I'm just gonna continue on. But the day before the judge was to present the verdict, Srila Odolomi Goswami Maharaj awarded sannyas to 8 of his disciples. So then Param Gurudev wouldn't be able to make this point here, the saffron dress of the sannyas order. And then the next day, yeah, and then the next day, before arriving to court, donning saffron-colored sannyas vesh and accompanied by all his disciples and followers, he loudly chanted Harinam Sankirtan around the whole town. So then Param Gurudev wouldn't be able to make the first accusation that they rejected the loud chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. In the presence of the judge, he said, we have arrived here clad in saffron, holding our sannyas dandas in hands amidst the loud chanting of Harinam Sankirtan. We have even established a mat in Godrumadvip in the name of Śrīla Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and have established his murti in that mat as well. Who then can claim in any way that we are not the disciples of Srila Prabhupada? The judge awarded the decision in favor of Srila Odolomi Goswami Maharaj and his followers. Thus, Srila Keshav Goswami Maharaj had apparently lost the case. I said to Srila Keshav Goswami Maharaj, you and your godbrothers have invested a lot of effort into this case. So now, having lost it, won't you resubmit your petition for a review of the verdict in the court? Srila Keshav Goswami Maharaj replied, we will do that only if they stop following Srila Prabhupada's teachings again. My sole objective was to make them follow the directions of Srila Prabhupada, and now we have observed that they are indeed doing this. Thus, in reality, the victory is ours. Although they have won the case externally, factually they have lost, as they were unsuccessful in all their attempts to act whimsically and contrary to the conclusive truths. We were only fighting to establish Vishuddha Siddhanta, supremely pure conclusive truth, and to maintain their connection with Srila Prabhupada. We have no other motivation. While Srila Prabhupada was physically present, Srila Keshav Goswami Maharaj desired to buy a piece of land. He desired to buy a piece of Muslim-owned land adjacent to Srivas Angan. I'm guessing that's probably where Gadadhar Bhavan and Advaita Bhavan is now. The Muslim owner, however, being displeased with the growing influence of Sri Chaitanya Math in Mayapur, was unwilling to sell that land to them. Impelled by some circumstances, when Srila Keshav Goswami Maharaj officially separated from Sri Chaitanya Math and formed his own organization called Sri Gaudiya Vedanta Samiti, that Muslim owner very gladly sold the lands to him. As soon as the devotees of Sri Chaitanya Math came to know Srila Keshav Goswami Maharaj had acquired that land, they broke its boundary wall and claimed it to be part of their property. When I reported this to Srila Keshav Goswami Maharaj, he laughingly said, that is absolutely fine. I do not have any reservations with it. During Srila Prabhupada's presence, I wanted to acquire that land from the Muslims. Seeing that we owned all the surrounding property except for this small piece of land owned by those who are opposed to the activities of bhakti greatly pains me. I did not purchase this land for my own enjoyment, but solely with an objective of service unto Srila Prabhupada. If Sri Chaitanya Math has claimed that land, it is not an offense. Rather, it is my fortune that they have taken that land for the service of Srila Prabhupada. After that, he gave me the following mantra as a teaching. We are not here to deal in real estate business. Our only aim and objective is to serve Srila Prabhupada and the Vaishnavas. In this way, I received from Srila Keshav Goswami Maharaj the following mantras. The first mantra is, never compromise when it comes to principles. Lead your life with the sole aim of protecting principles. And the next one is, we are not here to deal in real estate business, but to serve the Vaishnavas. Jai. And now there is anyways, it's 8 o'clock, so we'll end here. But the mantra is received from Śrīmad Bhakti Rakṣati Gosvāmī Maharaj, the mantra received from Śrīla Bhakti Gosvāmī Maharaj, and the mantra received from Śrīla Bhakti Vijñāna Gosvāmī Maharaj. So, man, I really want to read these. So tomorrow is it's Purnima and the first day of Chaturmasya. So, well, I mean, for many devotees, we started on Ekadashi, but yeah. So for some of us, it's the first day of Chaturmasya tomorrow on Purnima, Guru Puja, Guru Purnima, Vyasa Puja, and also the disappearance day of Srila Sanatana Goswami. So tomorrow we won't continue reading this series of mantras that he received, but maybe we can continue it a bit later on. Also, I need to figure out what our program is going to be. I usually like, I'm not very good at maintaining any kind of, I'm terrible actually at maintaining any kind of vrat on my own. Really, the only way I can actually follow through with a vrat is if I'm doing it with other people. So I always like to do something online or like if I'm not able to do it, because I'm kind of by myself right now, so I don't have, so I would like to do some kind of thing for Chaturmasya in our programs, in the morning programs. I don't know what would be good though, because I don't want to, right now we're reading Shikshashtakam and I don't want to like we just finished the first verse and I want to continue, like I don't want to go off track. And so maybe our like the Chaturmasya program can be based on Shikshashtakam somehow. One idea is this is just an idea. I haven't really thought through it too much, but you know, like we just went through the Nishanta, like the you know, the verse tam nirvyajam bhajagununanidim, and then that last verse, no, the Shikshashtakam, and then that verse from Govinda Lilamrita. So like the first Ashtayam Sadan part, which in Chaitanya Gaudiya Math, and I think some other Gaudiya Maths, they follow that whole Ashtayam. Like they do a certain program at Nishanta, like all the different times of the day. And so so it's 8 periods of the day. So then maybe we could, for 2 weeks, we can focus on the first one. Then the next 2 weeks, we can focus on the second one. And then the next 2 weeks, we can focus on the third one, fourth one. And then by Kartik time, we'll have gone through 6. And then in Kartik, there's only the last 2 left. And then in Kartik, since we've spent so much time with them, we could then, for anybody who wants to follow the Ashtayam Sadhan, which Chaitanya Gaudiya Math and other Gaudiya Maths been preparing for the 3 months for that, so that it'll be really easy. Might not even need to look at a book or anything like that, and then you could follow that during Kartik. That's one idea. I would like that personally, because I haven't really ever followed that program, and it'd be really nice to make it easy to follow. The easier it is, the more chance there is of actually doing it. But if at each time I have to like get out a book and look at it, and it might not be. And I really like just that time when I tried to explain that verse. Now I have it memorized. I'd love to be able to do that for all the verses, and yeah, just to make it really easy for everybody else to explain the meaning of each word and become really clear. So that's one idea. You can let me know if you like that idea. I don't really. Another idea is we could just go through the Chaitanya Charitamrita Shikshashtakam, like the chapter 20 of the Antyakanda, the last chapter of Chaitanya Charitamrita, and read all those verses. I did that a few years ago during Kartik every day. Anyways, I want some kind of Shikshashtakam related program so that our program will be focused. So you can, or if anybody has any other ideas, you can let me know. I'd like it'd just be like a small thing that we do at the beginning of our program. Yeah. All right, so I will end here. Oh wait, let me just, I'll just do Mahamantra, short Jadwani, and then if anybody has anything to say. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur. Hari Bol. Jai Shri Sachinandan Gaur Hari Ki Jai, Shri Shri Radha Vinod Bihari Ju Ki Jai, Jai Shri Gurudev Ki Jai, Jai Shri Param Gurudev Ki Jai, Jai Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai, Shri Rupanu Gauriya Guru Varga Ki Jai, Swapashad Shri Gaur Nityananda Prabhu Ki Jai, Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopigan Ki Jai, Shri Giriraj Maharaj Ki Jai, Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrindadevi Ki Jai, Jai Śrīla Bhakti Goswāmī Mahārāja ki sorry, Jai Śrīla Bhakti Vijñāna Bhāratī Goswāmī Mahārāja ki Jai, Jai Śrīla Bhakti Goswāmī Mahārāja ki Jai, Jai Śrīla Bhakti Madhava Goswāmī Mahārāja ki Jai, Śrīla Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswāmī Mahārāja ki Jai, Jai Śrīla Bhakti Rakṣati Goswāmī Mahārāja ki Jai, all the associates of Jagat Guru Śrīla Prabhupada ki Jai. Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki Jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Jai, Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai, Shinitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo. And today we read about Srila Bhakti Kumud Santa Gosai Maharaj ki Jai. Jai. All right. Vrindai Tulsi Devai, Priyai Keshavashacha, Krishna Bhakti Pratadevi, Satyavatai Namo Namaha, Vancha Kalpatarubhyashta, Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Dandavat pranams, dear devotees, Niri Hari Prabhu, Bhavatarani Mataji, Sarveshwari Mataji, Anadi Krishna Prabhu, Champak Mataji, Krishna Maya Didi, Ganga Mataji, Vidyalala Sadidi, and all the other devotees watching on YouTube and Facebook right now. I'm guessing Indira Mataji, Raseshwari Mataji, Rohini Nandan Prabhu, Ganga Mataji, and other devotees are like that there. And also pranams to all devotees watching in the future, like Shachi Devi, Revati Didi, and Jayadeva Prabhu, Haribol. I'm wondering, is it weird though, like if we're, because it's āśrayāmaḥ, it's at specific times of the day, and so then to go over verses that are not meant for this time of the day, the thing is, everybody watching is in a different time zone, so you can't really have like specific times of the day. So the program would probably be more like just a preparation for Kartik program rather than like we're actually following the āśrayāmaḥ. It would just be kind of make it like more clear. And so then during Kartik, if we do this program, then we're very clear on the meaning of all the words and we're like very familiar with it so that it'll be very natural. Otherwise, if you just try to do it during Kartik time without being clear on the meaning of all the words and everything that's happening, it will be very boring and difficult and not as absorbing because you don't know, you're just saying a bunch of random sounds. The best way, like the ultimate best way to understand, to memorize a verse is to be very clear on the meaning of each and every word. The more clear you are on the meaning of all the words and how all the words fit together, then memorizing a verse is natural. It happens almost automatically. But, and it relates to Shikshashtakam, because remember Krishna Lila Udgam, all the Leelas of Krishna, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, arises from this Shikshashtakam, all the pastimes. And so then you can see how it's connected to Shikshashtakam. Anyhow, is there anything anybody wants to mention before we end the program? Yes, Sarveshwari Mataji. Yes.
Yeah, probably I think I don't know. I like the idea also to focus in the meaning of Kartik and the meaning of Kartik because everyone have different times. Yeah, yeah. I think the meaning of the heart of Kartik, if you can go that way. But anyway, I don't know what the other devotees thinking, but I think this is good. The meaning, the
Okay.
essential thing. But
Great. So it'll be like 3 months of preparation for Kartik.
yeah. Are you going for Kartik in Vrindavan?
Actually, I just got a tickets to go to Vrindavan on August 1st.
Oh, so you will
So
be
I'm going
there.
very early because I'm hoping, I'm not sure if I'm not making any promises, but I'm hoping to finish the songbook in August, like by the end of August. And I'd like to be together with Vaijanti Mala Mataji, who's editing the songbook. It'd be really helpful if I'm just together with her. And so we could just like finalize everything rather than doing it online. We could just do it directly together. So that's why I'm going to Vrindavan for,
Good,
yeah.
good. Yeah. I wanted to ask you regarding, because I miss a lot, regarding the Śrīmad Vijñāna Bhāratī Maharaj. What was the point that when he separate from the Chaitanya Math, and there was an issue about the initiation because his guru was alive, and I wanted to ask you, is Śrīmad Buddha Bodhaya Maharaj give shelter there, and the Samadhi, all these things? I missed this part. Why he separate from the Chaitanya Math by himself?
Well, it didn't write about it clearly because I think it's a sensitive issue. And so when we were reading it, like Madhava Prabhu didn't write about it, like, but okay, I guess I'll just explain the issue was Śrīla Bhakti Vijñāna Gosvāmī Maharaj, he was in his internal pastimes, right? Like he was completely deeply absorbed in his, we read that Sweet, Sweeter, Sweetest, right? So we know how he was completely internal and not talking to anybody externally and like that. And so during that time, they would just play a tape of Śrīla Bhakti Vijñāna Gosvāmī Maharaj giving Diksha mantras. But so people would just hear it from a tape, but there wasn't any real like physical external involvement of Śrīla Bhakti Vijñāna Gosvāmī Maharaj. And so then Śrīla Bhakti Vijñāna Bhāratī Gosvāmī Maharaj said that this isn't proper. Like there has to be some direct connection with the guru and disciple, like, not just, like Śrīla Bhakti Vijñāna Gosvāmī Maharaj didn't have any interaction or like accept externally that person or anything like that. And then they just play a tape and then all of a sudden he's initiated. And so then Śrīla Bhakti Vijñāna Bhāratī Gosvāmī Maharaj, he started initiating at that time. And then in Chaitanya Gaudiya Math, like the whole managements and everything like that of Chaitanya Gaudiya Math said, no, there's only one acharya of, nobody else can give initiation during this time. But Śrīla Bhakti Vijñāna Bhāratī Gosvāmī Maharaj didn't agree with what they were doing. And so then, so then I don't remember the details, so anybody can correct me if I'm getting something wrong, but I think they actually like kicked him out of the lot. But maybe I got that wrong. I want to be careful because this is like a sensitive issue.
Yeah, I understand.
But that's basically what happened. And so then he left Chaitanya Gaudiya Math.
So, but at that time, Śrīmad Bhāravati Maharaj was the acharya of the math, but Bhakti Vijñāna Bhāratī Maharaj is his god brother, no?
Yes, God brothers,
His god
yes.
brother. So he was just
But
trying
Śrīla Bhakti Vijñāna Gosvāmī Maharaj was not, he was completely internal. He was not talking to anybody, not having any, he was, just fully internal during that time.
So Śrīmad Bhakti Vijñāna Bhāratī Maharaj was trying to help those one that asking initiation from Śrīmad Bhāravati Maharaj, those one.
Well, no, people were asking him directly. Yeah.
All right, yeah.
Because by that time, there's so many people who were following Śrīla Bhakti Vijñāna Bhāratī Gosvāmī Maharaj, like so many, his classes were full of devotees, and so many people were requesting him, but he would not give initiation while Śrīla Bhakti Vijñāna Gosvāmī Maharaj was giving initiation, but then when he stopped actually interacting with anybody and went fully internal, and then they were just initiating by tape, then he started giving initiation like that.
And Prabhu, if I can say
Thank
something.
Thank you.
Sorry
Yes.
to interrupt. They asked him to leave the math.
They did.
That they take him out. Because I remember Tungavidya called he came and stayed at Gopinath Bhavan in our apartment downstairs.
Okay.
So, and I already had my connection with Bhattarini as Shiksha disciples of this. It was an amazing meeting we had.
And he wasn't initiating on behalf of Bhakti Vijñāna, although you already explained that. he just started accepting his own disciples once Bhakti Vijñāna was no longer interacting with everyone. And they became very angry and threw him out. And he was really surprised.
Yeah, I remember the letter they wrote. Yeah. Yeah.
You remember the letter? Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
That we do too.
All right.
Yeah.
Thanks.
But yeah, and it is so nice to hear when there's a difficult situation like that. Śrīla Bhakti Vijñāna Bhāratī showed us the ideal way to deal with such a situation, not to blame any person or to, like, that is so powerful, really. Like,
Right.
we're so lucky to have that jewel to go to whenever we're in a very difficult situation like that. We have some solace. We have the example we can look up to and get some. Yeah. Oh, and Manjari is writing, he left of his own accord due to unfavorable circumstances. He wrote an amazing letter on his reasons. Some words at the end were especially profound. Yes. Yes. All right. Oh, and I didn't see Ganga Mataji's there, and Vidyalala said Didi Dandavat Pranams. Haribo. And Haribo Manjari Didi. Haribo. All right, so that is our program for today. See you all tomorrow for Vyas Puja, Guru Purnima. Very important day, extremely important day. And our Srila Gurudev would give so much emphasis to this day, more than anybody else, really. Like he made it a massive festival, this Vyas Puja day, Vyasadev's appearance day, and Srila Sanatana Goswami's disappearance day. So maybe we can read a little bit about that and the Harikatha that Gurudev spoke on that day, and read about the glories of Sanatana Goswami. God, there's too much to do on that day. And also there's so much about Chaturmasya Vrat. So, okay, see you all tomorrow for that. Haribo.